Good morning, friends. Today we are going to speak about a very untouched topic which is not spoken about. A topic known as sports physiotherapy, a topic known as sports medicine. There has been a lot of confusion regarding these topics because as far as athletes are concerned, a lot of these entities are a daily thing for all these athletes. You speak about rehabilitation, you speak about strength and conditioning, you speak about training and a lot of other and recovery as well. So, to speak on the same topic, today we have an expert with us, a mentor to me, a close friend, and founder director of Fit to Sport, Dr. Ajit Papari. Another question, as we discussed earlier, the difference or the gap which needs to be bridged. So how do you think as a professional sports team, what are the aspects which are involved in all these professionals? What are the faces which work in the behind of making a great athlete? So what do you think is important or how do you explain the process?
See, basically there are two things. One is discipline, and second is having a very meticulously planned structure. So let me again give you an example. So like football, I was working with, say, FC Pune City, and when we go for our pre-season training, so there has to be a cohesive atmosphere in terms of what best can be given to the players to obviously prepare them for the competition. Now pre-season, there are some scientific basis that happens in pre-season. So it is right from assessments. Then you go and identify their injuries, identify their weaknesses. It could be individual as well. And same thing, these principles apply to an individual athlete as well as a team. Why I am quoting an example of a team is because there are, as I said, it's a bunch of say 25 athletes who have been playing at the highest level. You need to maintain, you need to kind of prepare them for a long competition. So if you don't go scientifically in training them, I'm not talking about the skill training, I'm talking about the other aspects of training, be it their fitness, be it their nutrition, be it their injury prevention plan, be it their periodization of their schedules, their recovery. If we don't plan this properly, you are either going to not have a good performance or you will land up with some of the other injuries. So these are important factors that go in behind the scenes where now when it comes to just watching a match on television, be it anywhere in the world the match is played, you have to understand that there are too many people who are working behind getting those players ready to play that match. And that is very, very important to understand for a coach and for an athlete. That some things needs to be left to the experts to deal with. And you just have to follow a very scientific plan that goes into it. So it becomes, and I'm telling you, there are researches happening every other month. You feel something is coming out. It's a kind of it's a system that the Western world follows. They study something, they have the data, they derive something out of it, they come up with some protocols, and it is ready to use. So they've done the hard work. You have to use it. So and obviously, we have the data. As I said again, let me not divert from the topic, but I want to tell all our viewers that it is a huge topic to be discussed. But just to understand the principles that go behind having a highest level of performance, there are so many things that happens. Now need to happen. So these things, I think, are behind the scenes that are very, very crucial, right? And that has to happen throughout the year. Now, even in this COVID situation, let me tell you that there were few athletes who were obviously homebound, which was obviously required. The situation happened to have, we were in such a situation that we were homebound. But we had to keep motivating the athletes to do certain homework in terms of their weight training, using their body weight, some basic props. But we still went scientific. It's because we don't want them to decondition. So similar things happen. This is so definitely very odd situation that we were stuck in this world. But even otherwise, when things are normal, you need to understand their daily routine. You need to understand the way they kind of follow their fitness plan, their skill training. So just to sum this up, I want to kind of, tell you that if coaches who are the main pillars of, success for an athlete or a team, and it should be that way because, they understand the pulse of the player much more than what the other support staff. But if a coach or the coaching staff understands the use of the experts in performance enhancement and people like you as a sports physiotherapist and me and my team at Fit to Sport who are handling different verticals, sports science and blah blah blah, strength and conditioning. So we all come together, imagine, and then we support the coach in giving them the right scientific solution to the problems other than the skills because we are not skillful in that game. We don't understand coaching, but we understand the body that plays that particular sport. And if we try and assess the thing and start supporting it, I think coaches will have a very free hand in terms of developing that athlete into a lot of skill training because he doesn't have to worry, the coach, he or she doesn't have to worry about the athlete or the team now, that what they are eating, whether their aches and pains are taken care of, whether their fitness is happening properly. He's going to be reported every single probably day, the way we decide. Like as I said, in a team, there are team meetings of the staff that happens and we have a list every single day, the planning goes, every single session is planned, every single week is planned, the recovery days are planned and things like that. So there is too much of planning that goes and execution that happens. So it becomes a coach is aware of this situation but he doesn't have to think on it. Right now in India what happens is the coach unfortunately is the whole and source. He looks after their training, he looks after their nutrition, he looks after their daily other stuff as well, their family as well. So that is why coaches are important. But how to offload their work is something that we as professionals should look at. And I think as Fit to Sport, we are more than happy to not only support these coaches and athletes on this support system that we call, which is definitely going to help athletes in the long run.
So just to wrap up everything, I would just like to ask you the last question. For young enthusiasts, young coaches, young professionals, young sports physios, what is your message? What is your message as far as discipline is concerned, as far as their professionalism is concerned? With your experience, what would you like to share with young people who want to follow in your footsteps?
See, basically now there are two things, let me tell you. One is you need to start, as I said, changing your image as a professional. Lot of, let us talk about sports physiotherapy or other physiotherapy in general. Unfortunately, what has happened over the years and things are changing for good and I'm happy that I want to push things and make you all feel more professional, is physiotherapy means post-op rehab. They just connect. Whatever the consultant writes down, a physiotherapist follows those orders. So, not that it is wrong, obviously the surgical aspect and the surgeons understand much more, but I think all the physiotherapists, be it bachelors or masters in their own field, especially if I talk about sports physiotherapy, I think what all these physiotherapists should do is to have an independent evaluation of every case that they see. Secondly, they need to discuss that case with either somebody who's referred that person to them, or if they've come on their own, they need to start looking at it from a very scientific and evidence-based practices. What happens is the education system is obviously there for a while now. People pass out and you get a degree, do your internships and do your rotations and then you come out. But when it comes to actually handling the athletes and patients, it becomes slightly tricky because obviously it is true with all fields. But then you need to understand that the more you get involved in reading about those particular hands-on trainings, if you can get it before you start practicing, if you can get some hands-on experience, it definitely helps you as a professional. Now, this is one part of it. Second, I'll tell you, which I again reiterate, that discipline and professionalism is something that you have to understand. What is professional, So I think everybody should just understand what professionalism is, because unfortunately in our culture, we don't know how to define professionalism. That is the biggest problem. Be it punctuality, be it having a better approach, having proper knowledge about that particular thing, and then kind of implementing it better. This is one part which everybody should get into. Second is continuous education. So as I said a few minutes back, that researches keep on happening. If you are interested, and you should show interest in what is happening around the world, if you want to have passionately work towards it, there are certain new things that you come up, you can tweak your treatment plans accordingly. Having an exercise prescription which is given in the book is very different from what actually you have to do. So applications become a little dicey. So you should, and as I said, this is not mathematics. 2 and 2 doesn't make 4 in sports and exercise medicine or other even physiotherapy.
Yeah.
Every understanding is really different, experiences are different, and then you can come up with these particular. So these 2-3 things, young people should understand that you should not just do it for the sake of it, and just because now that you have just passed out with a degree doesn't make you actually a professional. You have to actually feel professional by getting those whatever is laid on the platter. You need to actually consume what is being laid down and then start implementing it. So it becomes very, very easy. As I said, physiotherapy is again a limb that supports this whole system, and I think making it a little more glorified yourself professionally, people will start respecting it more and more. Things are getting better, as I said, which were there 5-10 years down the line, which it was not looked upon as something which is a specialized branch, but yes, things are moving ahead. People are really doing a good job, and I'm happy that physiotherapy and sports science and sports nutrition is picking up. And I think we see a great deal of some good future ahead for the country. So it is a long way to go, but yes, I'm sure looking at what is happening currently, we can definitely look forward to have some positive results out of this.
Okay. So thank you. It was very nice of you to share your time, your experiences with us. And I'm sure our viewers will definitely like, and they will definitely put a thought into it, what needs to be done next. So it was very nice, and thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you, Pedro. Thank you for having us. Okay.